Oh, yeah. Five-star. LSU. I said, they ain't ready for the LSU. No, they ain't ready for the LSU, huh? They ain't ready for the LSU. No, they ain't ready for the LSU. We the best in the league if you looking for talent. LSU going hard, but we beat Alabama, then we going out to Florida. Drown the Gators, everybody getting bucked when we step in the stadium. This the LSU anthem, you know it's a hit. You don't know another rapper two-step like this. See me screaming out the window, yelling purple and gold. I'm an LSU fan, girl, you know how we roll now. Back and back it on up. Hey, 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 way down in the back.
Yay! Oh. We are live. Got it right there. So we can, I guess so we can have our correct Twitter handle underneath.
Yeah, I had to boot you and then bring you right back in.
No problem. We are live here in the Tigers Avenue on this Tuesday evening, right here before our midweek game. Tigers taking on McNeese State tonight. Zach, are they playing at McNeese State or is it in Baton Rouge?
I honestly have no clue.
Let me double check on that. Because they did. Well, I guess they do senior day on a weekend regardless. Let's see. It's at LSU.
Okay.
I just want to double check. So it is at LSU tonight against McNeese State. Hopefully you can capture your final midweek W heading into the weekend before Athens and collect your 40th win on the season tonight.
Yeah, be nice.
And man, Zach, after this past weekend, you just hope they go out and dominate. I mean, that's all you can hope for. I mean, I don't know what to think after this past weekend, man. It was rough. It was ugly. It was all of the above. Tough weekend for the Tigers going to Mississippi State. We're not going to recap it in detail. You know how it happened. But we'll discuss it. We'll discuss the issues. We'll look forward a little bit. And then maybe we'll discuss a little bit about the lineup tonight and who starts the pitching, because I'm sure it's already out. Or if it's not out, it will be out soon. And maybe we'll discuss that to wrap the show up. Zach, thoughts coming off the weekend? Well, before we get into that, we will be doing a little bit of an abbreviated show. I know we typically go an hour. Obviously, the game's starting at 6:30, so we'll be a little abbreviated tonight so we can get you off to the game. Zach, thoughts, obviously concerns. What do you think?
Well, I mean, we can kind of get a little bit into a recap here just briefly, and then really, as our second segment is supposed to be kind of addressing the issues, we can get more into that.
Yeah.
Friday night was great, man. Friday night was awesome. It was a complete game. Paul Skeens went out and shoved, completely dominated, which has just become a completely normal thing for him. The offense was clicking on all cylinders. Everything was great. And it started off
You did
Friday.
what you expected to do.
You do it exactly what you expect to do. And it started off Friday going, okay, this is what we're going to expect this weekend. This is what we should do this weekend, right? Saturday started off amazing as well because Ty went out. He pitched great. He had 10 Ks, which is career high. And that's exactly what you need from your starters. People are going to still ask, and especially after this weekend, can LSU make a deep run? And the answer, can they still make a deep run? And the answer is yes, because if you have two really good starters that can give you long outings, can get you to the 7th, can get you to the 8th, if you have two solid guys that can consistently do that for you, yes, you can do it. And if with this offense and the points that they put up, yes, you can do it. Now, the biggest question, obviously, from the weekend is because Saturday, you blew it. You blew the lead Saturday, and you blew a lead on Sunday, a more massive one on Sunday. So the bullpen now is the biggest question, and it is the biggest concern. And rightfully so. It was awful. It was I'm not going to sugarcoat it at all, Reagan. It was bad. It was really bad. It got so bad, Reagan, to the point where when we were up 13-4, they scored the other 4 to make it 13-8. whenever they, I think, scored the 10th run to make it 13-10, I walked upstairs. I was like, I can't do it. I'm not going to watch them bat. I just can't do it because it's awful to watch. It is bad to watch. And unfortunately, I mean, I still kept up with it. It wasn't like I just was like, I'm done with this game. I'm walking away.
Yeah.
But I couldn't continue to watch because it was just frustrating me way too much, more than it should have frustrated me. It was frustrating me. And so I was like, I have to walk away from this or I'm going to lose it. Right. And Dad was frustrated as well. So, he was stating his frustration and venting his frustration. I was like, I gotta walk away. Got to walk away from this for a moment to take a breather, to not be extremely upset about what is happening. And so I did. And I'm glad I did because it ended up getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. I would turn it on when LSU would come at the bat. And unfortunately, every time I turned it on when LSU came at the bat, they went 3 up, 3 down and really didn't do anything offensively. I'm not going to blame game 3 on LSU's offense. Because they put up 13 runs, you should be able to win with 13 runs. It is completely inexcusable that your offense put up 13 runs and your bullpen was so terribly bad, horribly bad that you couldn't protect a 9-run lead.
Yeah.
It's the worst. It is the worst in history that LSU has given up, comeback that LSU's given up. It's the worst in history, LSU baseball history. And it felt that way. It felt like that. It was awful to watch. It was aggravating to watch. It was frustrating to watch. Now, with all that said, am I going to sit here and say LSU's season is over? Am I going to sit here and say there's no chance LSU makes it to Omaha? No, because as I just stated, if you have 2 starters that are very consistent, look, what happened on Saturday, that's hard to do. Ty doing as well.
It's not going to happen often Saturday like that.
It's not going to happen often. Now, it seems more, I guess, exacerbated because of recently the bullpen, how bad the bullpen's been. But it's not going to happen. I really believe that what happened Saturday is not going to, happen as often. Now, Sunday, I think we're going to see that more. We saw it last Sunday. We saw it against Ole Miss. Unfortunately, the offense was able to come back. We've seen it in other points. I mean, you saw it against Tennessee when Tennessee just absolutely beat the dog out of you.
Yeah.
The bullpen was absolute garbage. I mean, you've seen it in the past on Sundays. So Sundays, I expect it. Saturday, that's kind of the first time I'm thinking all season that you've had that kind of outing from Ty. I'm not saying that you've had a bad game on Saturday because you've had bad games on Saturday, but that's the first time that Ty has had that performance. The offense had that performance, and you weren't able to get the win, right? It was just unfortunate. I mean, the offense, I know they didn't put up big numbers like they typically do. I know they only put up 4 runs, but with what Ty did in 4 runs, that should be enough, right? Or it should be at least enough to make it a close game, and it wasn't. So it's unfortunate that I freaking love this. Hayden Travinsky at first base tonight.
Robert, is that true? Is that what it is, or is that what you want to see?
I don't know if he's just saying this or if he's telling me that that's the lineup.
Robert, let us know if that's the lineup or if that's what you want.
Yeah, if y'all will, just go ahead and send us the lineup. We're not on there. I'm still trying to get things together from the big news today, which we'll get to. But yeah, extremely disappointing weekend. Very frustrating weekend. You lost to the worst team in the conference.
It is Hayden Travinsky at first, and money is pitching.
There is no ifs, ands, or buts around it. You lost to the worst team in the conference. Mississippi State is bad. And I hear some people saying, oh, they've played some teams close and there's some components there. No, State is bad. They are
bad baseball team.
This is your worst week.
Their bullpen is horrible. Their pitching
bullpen
is horrible.
Their pitching is horrible. And the fact that you went up against that team, that bullpen, and you lost this series, it is embarrassing. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's
inexcusable. It shouldn't happen at this point in the season.
Embarrassing. And there is questions to be had. Who is going to step up in this bullpen and go
Yeah.
and be a dude? Wes Johnson, bro, we brought you here from the Twins. I'm not saying Wes Johnson's a bad coach, and I understand he has inherited a kind of crappy situation, losing 6 of your best arms out of the bullpen, and also losing a rotational piece in Grant Taylor before the season even started. I understand he wasn't handed the best cards to start the season, and what has happened throughout the season. Listen, other teams are dealing with injuries. There's a lot of teams dealing with injuries. South Carolina's dealt with injuries. Arkansas has dealt with injury. We've seen how Arkansas has handled the adversity and the injury. They've handled it better than LSU has, bullpen wise. So they have to figure it out. Wes Johnson, and that's what they get paid for. That's why Wes Johnson is here. That's why Jay Johnson's here. You've got to figure it out. And they've got to figure it out quick because we're about to be in postseason. We got one more weekend, and then we're in the postseason. So they better get together quick. You got a big weekend coming up, and of course, we'll preview this on the next podcast. But you got to do some work this next weekend.
Yeah, there's no question. Look, I'm when I say this, like the bullpen was bad, and it is a concern. Like it's a concern, but I do want to say I don't know if we will see that kind of meltdown again. Like it's kind of rare to go through that many stinking arms and none of them pan out. So it's really crazy to see that happen in one game. Do I think it's likely that happens again? I don't think so, but I'm still very concerned, as we should be, with the bullpen. I mean, to go through, I don't know how many guys, and you finally find something in Riley Cooper in the 8th and the 9th after you've already, blown the lead completely. That was shocking to me. That many guys came in and couldn't do it. And what I'm more concerned about is Christian Little that's the second time he has had a complete meltdown. Yeah. I mean, this 2 weekends in a row, he has royally struggled to just put it across the plate. It's crazy because, like, going into the season, Zach, you had obviously Ty Floyd, Paul Skeens. You had Grant Taylor, who had a phenomenal summer and an excellent fall and was poised to have an incredible season. You had Jaden Newt, Chase Shores coming in. Jaden Newt was a surefire top 5 round pick in the draft, along with Chase Shores. Chase Shores is coming in throwing 100 miles an hour. You have Garrett Edwards coming out of the bullpen. Thatcher Hurd, who is like at the time, one of the best prospects in the next year's draft. He was projected to be the number 2 pick in next year's draft. And all of these guys are coming in. And Christian Little also you added from Vanderbilt, who was one of the most decorated pitchers coming out of high school in an extremely long time. And you look at your pitching staff coming into the season, and you're like, holy crap, our pitching staff. Pitching was the problem last year. We didn't have enough arms.
Yeah.
And you're looking at it this year, and you're like, holy smokes, we're going to have so many arms to go to.
Yep.
And then you had several injuries and 2 guys and I hate to point these out, but like Christian Little and Thatcher Hurd, who have yet to live up to what they were expected to be. Thatcher, I still think Thatcher is a injury problem. I don't think he's still injured or he's still hurting. I think coming back from an injury and relearning your mechanics after an injury is hard to do, and I think that's what Thatcher's still dealing with. I mean, guys, Thatcher Hurd was, like I said, going to be like the 2nd pick projected in next year's draft, and he had like a 1.06 ERA and struck out just about everybody he faced at UCLA last year before his injury. So, looking at it on paper, you're like, man, we got everything we need. And it just hasn't panned out, and the injuries have been brutal. And so I see a lot of people throwing shade at Wes Johnson. Like, I don't know if the shade is necessary. Like, it is his job to get this pitching staff in order.
Yep.
And to have it to where they can go out and just get you 27 outs. Sunday, they couldn't do that. So if it continues, then yes, I think we look to Wes Johnson. Right now, what he has been brutal. And Sunday, I don't think ever happens often where you just can't find one guy who can put the ball over the plate. So in terms of like the next few games, it's gonna be really interesting, I think, to see how they handle the bullpen, considering the past 2 weekends, right?
Yeah.
Because Sunday has been a disaster 2 weekends in a row. You allowed 12 runs to Auburn. You allowed 14 runs to Mississippi State. Like, it's been a disaster on Sunday. I don't think you need to do Johnny Holstaff on Sunday anymore. Like, we don't need to do that anymore. Like, you need to find a guy who's going to give you 4 innings. And I think that guy can be Gavin Guidry, Javen Coleman, Riley Cooper. You need to find 2 or 3 guys that can go get you
On
4 to 3 innings to get Sunday in. Like, it doesn't need to be this carousel because the carousel clearly has not worked.
Well, also, Reagan, like I thought this, and maybe you thought this too. I honestly thought they pulled Herring and Money too early.
They did. It was situational. With Money, it was definitely a situational thing, and they pulled him situationally, and I think they should have left Money in.
Yeah. I mean, you have to – at some point, you're going to have to trust some of these guys to try and extend. I mean, I feel like they have done that at times, but then, like, Sunday, it really just felt like you were throwing the kitchen sink at them. Like,
yeah,
you know, and just trying to mix things up. But
and man,
Money,
Saturday,
I understand Money wasn't perfect, but like he looked the best out there.
Yeah.
And if you go look at the stat lines, him and Herring, you know, and obviously Javen, they had the best days. I know Javen, like it's completely understandable with Javen. Like, you're gonna have to pull him. I understand that. There's no arguing that.
He's still working back. Yeah,
they're still trying to work him back and everything. So, but it's just been extremely like it really made me think like what the heck was happening whenever they pulled Money. You know, there's been some questionable decisions. And I'm not saying that they were bad decisions, but decisions that were like maybe you go, you know, was it Saturday that they subbed in Napolt? Or no, it was Sunday. They subbed in Napolt over Gavin Dugas. I'm like, what are you doing? Gavin Dugas has been clutch for you the entire year. Gavin Dugas has the potential to go yard. Like, you are giving up. And I understand like that it's like you want to use small ball in situations. And I've been one that to clamor about that. Like, we need to, you know, try and be a little bit more situational and try and use small ball some. But you're going to tell me, I don't know how you justify bringing in Ben Napolt over Gavin Guidry. Like, I understand the reasoning, but I don't know if you can justify the personnel change there. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. I 100% would have rather had Gavin Dugas over Napolt there. And then I heard about the explanation with subbing in Milazzo over Travinsky. You know, obviously they stated how exhausting it was on Sunday, how it was extremely hot, extremely tiring, and they subbed Travinsky out because of him just being mentally, physically worn from that game, right? And it was just exhausting having to sit out there in the heat and catch. I completely understand that. And, you know, late in the game, you're going to want somebody fresh, especially with how tight it was. Get somebody fresh, get somebody that's ready to go, that's not going to make a mistake, and maybe better at the plate and not as exhausted, right? I understand that a little bit, but I can't find a reason to justify subbing Gavin over Napolt. And I think that hurts you.
Yeah, I get they were trying to get the guy over to get he was trying to lay a bunt down to get the game-winning run in, but again, like you said, Gavin can do that I don't think he's the best option to bunt, but in terms of like game-winning situation, Gavin like done that for you several times. So
Yeah.
maybe why go that strategy? I guess he was just trying to like, man, I'm trying to just get one run across so we can get out of this god awful game. I mean, maybe that's his thought process.
Yeah.
So he's trying to scratch one across. I apologize. The baby has been unruly, but I don't know if you can hear it or not. Hear him or
The
not.
baby is having the same response that we had from this weekend.
Yeah. There's
Not
not much I
happy.
can do about the baby crying, so I apologize, guys. Mama's doing everything she can. So, yeah, I don't know. Some of those things, like where they're pulling guys at the end of the game, I guess for a defensive lineup, I feel like have been done kind of early. Like they were doing it in like the 7th inning when I feel like it should be done in like the 8th or 9th.
Yeah.
Saturday, what really surprised me and what was a shock is, man, Thatcher has come out and had some great outings. And Thatcher comes out and it looks like he has a down day. It's like, man, like he has several days in a row where he's just looking really good. And then, boom.
Back to what we had seen at the beginning
it's
of the
back
year.
to where it was. And I guess that's part of just struggling to try and figure out where your command after an injury. But it's tough. I mean, I don't know. How do you go forward, Zach? I mean, how do you think you approach Sunday? How do you approach the bullpen? Because, I mean, you really need to win this coming weekend big time in terms of national seed. So what do you do going forward?
I fully believe that you're going to have to hope that your Friday, which Friday is obviously a guarantee, almost pretty much. It's pretty much a guarantee that Skeens is going to give you at least 6, right? So I'm not really worried about Friday, but you're going to have to really hope and pray that on Saturday, Ty Floyd can keep up what he's been doing and continue to extend and give you pretty good outings, and that the offense scores. Like Friday and Saturday, you're going to have to hope that it's the same case for you both nights, that Skeens and Floyd give you 6 to 7 to 8 innings, and your offense puts up 7 to double-digit runs. Like, that's what you're going to have to hope for. And then on Sunday, I agree with you. I wholeheartedly agree with you. Find 3, maybe 4 guys that you're going to rely on. Now, I mean, obviously, if one's struggling, like, I understand, like, you got to pull them, right? But find 3 to 4 guys, as you said, Guidry, Herring, Coleman, Cooper. Those guys, I understand, like Guidry had a bad outing. He gave up 3 runs on Sunday. Yeah. But those guys have more often than the others been a lot more consistent, a lot more steady, right? And they've given you good quality outs. So it's been frustrating, but I agree with you. I think that's the best way to do it. As far as like how far can LSU go, like expectations, what are the issues? Like I still believe LSU can make it to Omaha. I'm not taking that off the table yet.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
still think they can make it to Omaha.
Well, and you can also win the SEC this weekend. I mean, that scenario is still out there for you. Your play throughout the season has put you in a position to where, you know, even though, man, you've really had 2 really bad weekends, you know, you don't control your own destiny. You need some cards to fall your way, but you can still win the SEC.
Yeah.
You need Arkansas to lose 2 games this weekend. They're at Vanderbilt. And you need Kentucky to take 1 from Florida.
Yep.
If Kentucky wins 1 in
Completely
Florida,
possible.
which it's at Kentucky and it's at Vanderbilt. So if Vandy can capture a home series and Kentucky can salvage 1 game at home against Florida, you have to sweep Georgia and you win the SEC.
Yep.
So it's pretty cool that, I mean, unfortunately, if you had an extra game against South Carolina and you win, you wouldn't have to sweep. But you do have to sweep because of that. So, man, the season is still ahead of you. Like, this has really stunk the last 2 weeks, the last 2 weekends. But, man, you still have all of this ahead of you. Is there concerns? Yes. But can this coaching staff try and figure something out, put something together for this team to be successful on Saturday and Sunday? And kind of what we've hinted at already, you can be successful on Saturday if Floyd keeps giving you what he keeps giving you.
Yeah. Now, I mean, you have to hope that he does keep giving you that because obviously that's been a little inconsistent at times as well. But
about 3 weekends in a row now, you've gotten it from him.
Yeah.
I mean, the Auburn situation in the fourth inning, I think he gets a pass. But before that fourth inning, you saw 7 strikeouts in a row and he was completely dominating. He dominated Ole Miss before that. And he played very well against Bama before that. And then he gave you his best performance probably of his career against Mississippi State, and you don't win the game. Like, that just is not going to happen often.
Correct.
So, there has been times when he's been good and times when he hasn't been as good, but I think we're trending in a way he's consistently getting better. And that's what he did last season.
Yep.
If we don't remember
what he did last season.
At the end of the season, he got better and better and better, and he became your guy at the end of the season. So hopefully he can do that for you again. And guys, it's baseball. You got to play the game. That's why we play the games. The season isn't over now. You got to go play the games. Zach, do we want to hit a quick break? And maybe we can hit some comments real quick and get a quick break, and then we'll come back and we'll kind of do our last segment here, talk about the news today before we let you go.
Yeah, let's do that. So Justin Broussard said Sunday was the worst pitching I've seen in a long time. Yeah, I can't disagree with you there. Honestly, can't disagree with you at all. Robert said Vanderbilt has 2 of their top 2 starters are out this weekend again. So we'll see how that plays
well
out.
In LSU's favor. Yeah.
Doesn't bode well in LSU's favor, that's for sure. Carl Dunn said pitching has been the pitch calling has been suspect lately. I know the players have to execute the pitches, but dang, but also, Blake mentioned this on the show the other night, like Nate Ackenhausen was shrugging off a bunch of pitches, like at some point you got, your pitchers are going to have to trust the pitching coach to, to call the right pitches. I mean, you can't, Wes Johnson, I'm not saying he is completely innocent of the pitch sequences and the issues that have been there. Right. But also part of that is going to be on the players trusting. I think that's really, probably mainly just Ackenhausen, because I think he's probably one of the only ones I've seen actually shrug off the pitcher, or excuse me, Wes Johnson, and calling the pitches. So, but yeah, it's been frustrating. So, anyways, Robert said I would pitch Coleman for 3 innings, then Herring for 3, then bring in money for the rest. I'm okay with that, but I would really like to see
form of that.
Well. I think you're going to have to pick some guys. Like Ackenhausen has recently been the guy that's going to come in and cover for Skeens. Who do you have that comes in and covers for Floyd? Like who's going to come and cover? I would like for it to probably be Herring, or maybe it's Money. But you're going to have to pick 2 guys for Friday, 2 guys for Saturday, and 3 to 4 guys.
Yeah, this
Sunday.
is Zach.
You're going to try to stick with that.
This is 2 weekends in a row they've moved Herring to Sunday, and it has not boded well. When they had Herring coming in on Friday and Saturday, it went good for them, and it worked. Let him come in. Let him be the first guy out of the bullpen on Saturday after Floyd.
I agree, and I'm totally good with that. So we'll see how it goes.
Sundays has been it. Anyway,
we'll see how it goes this weekend. We'll preview it, of course, on the next episode. Let's take a quick break, and then when we come back, we will discuss some LSU Lagniappe, some different news, especially some big news coming from today. That's actually, if y'all have noticed, if you're watching, you may have noticed I've been a little distracted trying to get this together because we did have an edit ready to go for the big announcement today, but unfortunately, 2 power outages kept me from being able to get that ready to go. So I'm trying to get it ready to go now. But nonetheless, we'll take a quick break and we'll be back right after this.
5-Star Hero, your intro and outro music for the Tigers Avenue show. They ain't ready for that LSU. Go check out all his other music on all the major platforms. Don't forget to follow him on Instagram at Saints Anthem and at Twitter at One Nation Doty. Don't forget to check out his Facebook page for all his Saints and LSU merchandise. Can't get any better than Sarah Klein Stevens, attorney at law. Her firm focuses on the needs of the elderly and maintaining their dignity throughout the process. Here for you, here for your family. Sarah Klein Stevens, attorney at law. Back at it here in the Tigers Avenue. Zach, man, for a long time we heard this thing that, man, Brian Kelly can't recruit. And he can't recruit in the booth. He's not going to be able to keep up in recruiting. Oh, really? Oh, really? I think he's been saying differently for a while now, Zach. 2 commitments this past week, big-time commitments. One from the high school class out of Louisiana, Juwan Johnson, Zach, and the big news today. What was that big news today, Zach?
Oh, yes, Logan Diggs, the 1,000-yard rusher. Well, 1,000 total yards.
Yeah.
1,000 all-purpose yards, 6 touchdowns. I know it's not like, it's like 6, okay. But listen, this is a guy that, again, Louisiana native, was under Brian Kelly at Notre Dame, and I'm going to be honest. Reagan. He is your best back now. He is your best running back.
Wow. Better than Josh Williams?
I believe so.
Talent-wise, I would agree, yeah.
Talent-wise, yes. I mean, Josh is reliable. I think Josh is going to
get it done all the time.
Exactly. Josh seems to just get the job done. But this is massive. This is massive for you because there's question marks. Armani Goodwin is a question mark. John Emery is a question mark. I really like the trio of Josh Williams, Noah Cain, and Logan Diggs. Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. And then you have 2 freshmen that are going to be really freaking good, right? Like, this is insane, Reagan. Like, what if, and let's just say, I hope it's the case, but let's just say that John Emery works everything out, with his academics and everything, and he goes back. Dude, you're going to have Logan Diggs, John Emery, Noah Cain, Josh Williams. If Armani is healthy, Armani Goodwin, and the 2 freshmen. Dude, 7 freaking running backs. What was that like? Was it like 2012 when LSU had like 5, 6 dude? Like,
yeah.
This is a massive arsenal of talent. And honestly, the reason I say talent, these guys are talented, but I mean, there's a lack of talent, because you don't have 1 to 2 guys that you're like, all right, these are our guys, right?
Right.
And obviously, as we understand, like Frank Wilson wants to operate out of a running back by committee, kind of scheme, running scheme. So, like, I understand that's also, a part of it, but this is a lot of dudes, Reagan. And I'm excited about it. I'm excited once I finally can get everything caught up. I'm going to post about the edit that we had ready to roll. We had it ready to roll last night, had a power outage. Then I get to work today. I'm trying to be able to do it from work. Power outage at work, and I have to rush home for the show. So I apologize.
Fun stuff.
I apologize, guys. We will be late on getting our edit out, but we did have an edit ready to go. So I'm going to post it here shortly. But big news for Brian Kelly and LSU football.
Yeah, absolutely. I love the addition. It was something that I wanted to happen. It seemed like it was something that was definitely going to happen once he entered the portal. Played under Brian Kelly. He's from Louisiana. Like, it's just a given, right? Like, played at Rummel. It just seems like it was a match made in heaven. And now he's a Tiger. You add more talent to your running back room that already has a lot of bodies. This helps from the talent perspective. This helps from a depth perspective. If you have injuries, if you deal with injuries, you now have plenty of guys that can take care of business for you. So I'm really excited about the running back room, and I'm really excited to see how that plays out on the field and how Frank decides to use all those pieces, because there's a lot of backs that can do a lot of different things for you in that room. So that's really excited. one thing though, Zach, that I would be on a lookout for is a transfer. I mean, it is a lot of guys. Guys want minutes. Guys want reps. It's a crowded room, so it's going to be a battle for reps. So maybe look out for a transfer potentially. I'm not going to debate about who that would be, but I wouldn't be surprised if something like that happened.
Yeah,
Zach,
I would agree.
so with Juwan Johnson, this is a flip that you have gotten.
Well, he was previously like heavy LSU.
Yeah.
Then, of course, Dion comes in, does his thing. I think probably, young guy, emotional, teenage guy, probably got there.
Got wrapped up into the hype.
Made an emotional decision, stepped back, realized, man, I'd have to go all the way out to Colorado. It's freezing dang cold. My family would have to travel way out there just to see me play. Why not just stay right here in Louisiana?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a great pickup because, man, Brian Kelly's killing it in the state of Louisiana. I mean, we talk about putting a fence around the state of Louisiana. He is doing that this year. I mean, he has 8 guys, I think, out of the 15 commits are Louisiana guys, and they're all like the top guys. So it's been really impressive. And Juwan Johnson is an athlete, dude. He plays all over the field. He plays like DB. He plays their quarterback, for Pete's sake. I mean, he has thousands of yards as a quarterback at LCA. So he's an impressive athlete, and man, he's gonna be a guy that can be used in many different ways. Most likely in the secondary position at LSU somewhere, maybe DB, safety, nickel, something like that. Because he's just like he's like a Swiss Army knife for LCA. He's definitely their star player, and it's a big pickup for Brian Kelly. It's a big flip to go and say, hey, we want the best in Louisiana. You're not going to pluck this guy from us. And he decommits from Colorado, and man, really from the minute he decommitted, everybody kind of knew his destination. Yeah. He actually said at his commitment day when he committed to Colorado that, man, he told coaches it was going to be hard for them. He said, man, it's going to be hard to pull me from Louisiana. I mean, I've been here my entire life. I grew up here. I love this place, and LSU's here. Why would I leave? Yeah. And he made that known, and man, Brian Kelly goes out and he gets another one. So all this Brian Kelly can't recruit talk, it's slowly fading away.
I think it ended a while ago, to be honest with you.
You said what?
I think it ended a while ago, to be honest with you.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's been killing it, and it's been impressive. And you love what you see out of Brian Kelly. You love what you see, what he's been doing in recruiting. Zach, we got about 4 minutes to this ball game. Your thoughts on tonight's lineup, and then we'll wrap it up.
I love the lineup for tonight. I honestly do. I had stated it a few times, like, I would love to see Travinsky play first. I would love to see Travinsky at first. Yeah. He has proven to be a very solid bat in the lineup. And Jones hasn't. Let's just be honest. He hasn't proven to be that. He's been very inconsistent, especially lately. So,
and the strikeouts are massive.
And the strikeouts are
just a massive number.
Yeah, they're bad. And so I would love to see what this lineup does tonight. I still think Cade Bloser's had kind of an off couple of weeks. I want to see him bounce back and continue to have the success that he had. I love that Joe Bear's heating up as well. I mean, Joe Bear's looked really good the last few weeks. Yes. I really think, like, as of right now, this is the best lineup. I wholeheartedly believe that. Who did they say was pitching?
Blake Money. It's Blake Money.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. Let's see how, maybe Blake can give you a really good outing, and maybe he gives you something to look at for Sunday. You got to have somebody, as you said, that can give you long extended outings. Yeah. So especially on Sunday, we need that. We need Javen. I mean, I think they're gonna stick with Javen because Javen didn't really do anything necessarily to prove that he doesn't need to be the starter on Sunday.
Just on a pitch count.
He's on a pitch count. I think it's great that you can bring him in and, get 3 innings and hopefully that gets extended a little bit more as we get later and later postseason. And that's the good news. Maybe it does. Maybe it does get extended later and later as we get into the postseason. And that would be good for LSU, especially if he is pitching well like he has been. So we'll see. Yeah. But overall tonight, just win. Just
go out and get you the final midweek dub. Just get you something positive moving forward. All right, Zach, I think that's about it. It's about time to go kick over to that baseball game. Hope y'all enjoy y'all's evening.
By the way, we have just finally posted 3 hours late, but we have finally posted
check it out.
our Logan Diggs edit that I made literally like a few days ago.
Awesome.
So please, y'all go check that out, and please like it on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. It's on all of those social media platforms.
Absolutely. All right, guys, y'all go enjoy your Tuesday nights. Hopefully LSU will dominate and get a dub, moving to some positive direction after this past weekend. We'll be here Friday night to talk about this upcoming weekend series and how important it is. We'll see you next time here in the Tigers Avenue. 5 Star Hero, take us out. Peace.